There are very different adaptations of Berserk, all of them being animated. Why does the world need a live-action Berserk, and why yours?
So live action Berserk, I mean, it is like the biggest question here, right? For me, when I picked up the book a year ago and I started reading through it, it was almost like it clicked with me then that this isn't just a manga, this aren't just drawings, this isn't just this transcribed medium. It always jumped out of the page at me as this is a movie. I always felt that the vision of it, and to reach that level of clarity, it would just make perfect sense for it to be live action.
Alright, this is Tyson. We're gonna build a Dragon Slayer!
In what moment or moments did you realize you had truly evolved as a director?
The skeleton fight. The skeleton fight was the culmination of hard work, planning, dedication, commitment. It was really driving that potential, taking it and pushing it as far as it can possibly go. And during then, as we were going from shot to shot, it was hard. It was challenging, of course, but it was never impossible. It never felt like anything that would weigh us down or that would stop us easily. So pushing through that and taking something as challenging, because I remember when you came up to me some months ago and you said, okay, this is a problem. How do we do this? I mean, it has to be CG, stop motion, all these things that are just out of our range. And from day one, I said, no, we're doing it practically. I want to push to make it practical. I want it to feel real. I want it to feel like the audience is there. They're feeling skeletons being hit. They see that atmosphere being made. And so for pushing the practicality of it, in some ways it made it easier. because then we were just able to perfect everything on set, and then in editing it was really minimal work. So I feel like mixing all those practical elements and pushing the direction and the artistic direction of how I'm going to present this very crazy set piece in a way that just we can do was really when I came through as my own as a director.
And it takes forever to take a picture. What made you select 4:3 and black and white to paint this world?
So black and white for live action Berserk, it was a decision I had made since day one of Nostalgia, which was quite a long time ago. And as I told you, when I first read it, it jumped out of the page of me. This is live action. This has motion. This is like a movie. This isn't just a book. This isn't even just going to be captured through animation. And me taking it out of the page, I thought kind of reaching the medium of translating that language became black and white, because obviously manga is drawn in black and white. It's that harsh value of the black and the whites and the ink going together. So I thought to keep that vision, it would service it best to be black and whites, and it would really feel like this other world. And for 4:3, that was a pretty cool decision, because obviously Nostalgia, it was the widescreen, it was 16:9, but 4:3 became to me the best way to really close in on what Guts was going through. When you see that box on him, it just forced me as an actor to really be there, be present, see the reactions, communicate all of that through. Having that 4:3 just allows you to follow him all the time, every single step, thought through the entire journey of the movie.
Were there any shots specifically that you think lived and breathed this?
So the first one that comes to mind of a shot that really lives Berserk is during the rain sequence, when he's walking through the rain, and what I do is I take the bottom of my hood and lift it up. That's a very popular panel in it, and going into making this, I definitely wanted to find the moments where I could recreate those panels. I could bring those to life in a way where somebody watching it that maybe really is into Berserk can look at that and say, oh yeah, that's exactly what it feels like on the page. It's just brought to life. And I feel like it was great because we had the rain going, we had atmosphere, we had water on the camera. You could see the water seeping through and dripping off of my costume. And then as I raise it up and he solemnly goes under here, that emotion and that atmosphere all work together to kind of make that perfect storm of feeling like Berserk. So first I want to start with writing here.
Good.
Okay, as that was the first big step into this. So what was your approach like taking this first draft of the brand and turning it into Curse?
Okay, so really the key to writing, I know I've told you this before, I know you don't give a shit about writing, is that it's really about rewriting. So it's like taking what's before, not just like an adaptation, but seeing what it could be. Obviously just not 1-to-1 ratio, like, oh, this is just this on a screen. It's just, you know, the source material as a script. It's more than that. It's, you know, taking a lot of elements out that, you know, you can get away with in an anime, like that will be, you know, corny as hell in real life. Like, oh my, I want this fairy in my ear all the time, saying shit that can only pass on a page. And sometimes, you know, you need stuff on a page to be, you know, here. But it's really unconvincing when you have like this certain aspects that are not too fantastical, but too, this is good to be taken out of you know, an episode or a piece. And a lot of people will say, that's bad writing or it's bad cinematography if it takes you out. But it's good if it takes you out. I'm like, oh wow, that was really powerful. That's gonna stick with me. So I really wanted to either incorporate that or, emphasize those moments through the writing, so that you as an actor and other actors truly understand what is the mood, what is the attitude that we're trying to, really spell out for the audience.
So before we ever shot anything, what was the most effective change you think you made to the script? Anything you changed or cut? Any characters?
It totally was not cutting Puck out. I love
Has to
Puck
be
so
addressed.
much. Yeah, Puck. That's the aspect where it's like that's taking me out of it. It's gonna take everyone else out of it. Now I know we discussed earlier today where he would be necessary.
Yeah.
But it's not here.
It's not here. Not now.
And it would take away from like the general message and the general theme of what the curse is and Guts as the curse, and that would pull us away out of it. Like we can't be having these comical takes or like, "Wah!" I don't want to hear that when Gus is like literally experiencing trauma. Spoiler alert. But you should have watched the movie by now.
So day one, when you came in, what were your expectations? Just what were your thoughts coming in as a new director of photography on this movie and working with me?
Although I would not advise this like later on in my career, just trying to see what looks the prettiest, what looks the best, what drives the mood forward. Because you're a model in those images, and that's still acting, but it's just still acting.
Right.
There's no emotion to it. That allows us to breathe in what you're feeling, and that can be a million things because Guts does feel a million things. How does that reflect not only on his face but in the environment as well? And working with like a lot of trees, I was already immediately thinking, okay, I'm gonna love this.
Yeah.
So, it was a lot of excitement.
Do you have like a singular favorite shot from Curse?
It's either the final shot or the shot where the camera is running through the fog and we get that close up of you. Those like feel very out of the film, but we don't get anything like that until that point.
Were you nervous coming into this as a first-time director of photography?
Yeah, but at the same time, I had the confidence, like knowing that, like, okay, you've been the director of photography, like literally the director of everything. So like by default, you were like, this is how I want it.
Yeah.
But now you like actually communicated. There's a communication of like, this is exactly how we wanted. This is an artistic thing of like holding the camera, not just holding it, but angling it.
Yeah.
Adding that motion to it, and everything being actually intentional and not just like coincidentally like working. Because we can do that. But, like I feel like taking the photography a little more seriously, and me coming in like panicking, but like still ready to push it forward. I feel like that worked in Clash very well.
Thank you.
All right,
thank you. Go on in and tell them that Curse is out now.
You're the man. It's out now.
What inspired your visuals the most?
For Curse, as I said, I went back from the ground up. What had really made my visuals before was the obsession I had with imitating the Hollywood look. You know what Hollywood looks like. You know what these movies look like.
You know what's cinematic.
Yeah, you know what.
It's not even. Yeah.
Cinematic. Everybody knows what that's supposed to look like. And as an amateur, it is really hard to do that. And I had kept wanting to push that more and more. I mean, even Nostalgia to an extent was trying to be cinematic because I had that widescreen and it was really trying to imitate that. But then for Curse, I realized if I had freed myself of wanting that and trying to imitate that, then it just opened my mind to so much more. Like I said before, freeing myself of trying to imitate anything else, stopping imitating Berserk and Guts and how he's looking, feeling, how he would say the lines in the manga, and then also stopping to imitate that Hollywood look. And then so for Curse, it was looking at those paintings, those Renaissance paintings, those statues, even, panels from the manga, art that Kentaro Miura had done, and looking at the black and white values there, and looking at the implied motion, and wanting to breathe the life into it. That is really bringing to life the look I want to make here.
What is the future of this Berserk adaptation
Hmm.
looking like? If there is one.
Oh, there is one.
Or is it a film?
There is a plan. There is a future. There's a decades of me making Berserk movies. This is just the start. My plans right now. So Curse is the second chapter. After Curse comes Guardians of Desire, and that adapts the third big chapter of the Black Swordsman arc. So we have the God Hand, we have Griffith, we have the Count, we have all this arc coming to a close. And then that becomes the Black Swordsman movie. And then after that, so obviously Golden Age comes after the Black Swordsman, but I have no interest in doing Golden Age. I mean, it's been done so many times. Studio 4C just did their Memorial Edition. Everybody knows Golden Age, and if I were to do Golden Age, I would spend the rest of my life doing that, and I just don't want to do that. So I'm moving straight onto Conviction, which is chronologically the next beat in the story. And yeah, so I'll split Conviction into 2 movies, and then from there, it's just I keep going. I just keep going until I die, I guess. But yeah, as long as I am here, I will continue to make Berserk movies. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care.
You're doing it for you.
Yeah, I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for myself. I'm doing it to make art. I want to make this my own vision, and I want to just bring in as many people as I can to make it the best it can be.
What was preparation for this role like?
So preparation, so my training in acting is as a theater actor. I had spent all of middle, high school doing theater. So here it was really time to become serious about the screen acting, about showing the reserve, showing the subtlety, really calculating what it was I was showing at any given time on screen. And for that, I just stepped away from acting for a while. For a few months after Nostalgia wrapped, I stepped away from acting and just sort of unlearned everything that I knew about theater, and just spent a lot of time watching movies and not necessarily looking at them for the acting, but just watching them.
As a consumer.
Yeah, I spent time just as an audience member. And I feel like that really helped me let go of any habits I had before that were bad for the screen. And now I'm here as a more confident screen actor. The moment I feel like I really came alive as this character was day one, when we were practicing photography, and you got this first pictures of me there, and then all of a sudden it was almost as if I was being possessed, and I just felt this cold wave go over my entire body, and it's like you could see it in my eye, just that one little piece of light left in those pictures. And that's when it happened. It was very raw, it was very real, and that's when I became this version of Guts.
What was your proudest moment?
I think there's 2. One is the scream at the very end, because there was originally dialogue there in the source material. He gives this whole monologue about how he doesn't pity the dead, all these people, this happened to them. But then we made the decision of, well, let's reduce all that speaking, all of those words, to just a singular scream. And let's have him bottle it up and then let go of all of that agony for just a second before coming right back down to the earth and pushing forward. And so I feel like achieving that and letting all these emotions ride through that scream and having that moment pass on made the conclusion of the movie pretty strong. That and the moment actually was right here, where I was on the ground right here and selling that shot in which the sword has to get almost right there to the eye, and then he pushes it out of the way at the last second. And I remember I kept wanting to do it again and again and again. It's like, okay, we need it closer. Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Because it's just such fun drama of putting that other eye in danger, since he has already lost the other one, and that's such an easy target. So that was quite a lot of fun. I know you two were both so scared But I had just a great time doing it. I was so enthusiastic about it.
I was not. I did not want to die with that responsibility on my hands. Last question. Do you feel that stunts help your acting, or is it just not necessary?
Oh, I think it is absolutely necessary. Doing all these stunts, I mean, it's just as much acting as any of the lines are. I mean, me being a martial artist and having that background in combat and fighting and doing mixed martial arts, I mean, I say this a lot, but fighters are great actors. We just perform in a different way. I mean, fighting to me is a performance art. You were watching it in the same way. We had an audience watching fighting happen. There's a story going on in every single fight. And when you're fighting, the agony, the struggle, the exhaustion, that's the emotion that actors have in any other scenario, in any other scene. For me, definitely channeling that side and channeling all the might that it takes to lift the sword and to swing and to move, that is really powerful acting. Thank you.
And that's a wrap on today.
Curse is out now, so go watch it.
Now!
Now!
Please.
And action. Stay here. Be quiet. Cut. All right, we got it, ladies and gentlemen. After 2 months filming, 6 months in planning, effectively, that is a wrap on Curse. Yay! Yippee! Yippee! Hooray!